Everybody talks about the 4-year Bitcoin cycle in crypto, but I never believed in it. October's ending and we've already outlasted the 2017 and 2021 bull runs, but is the top in? Not a chance. Let's break down the relationship between Bitcoin and its 4-year cycle and where we're heading next. All right, guys, I hope you guys do not take this as me walking back on my idea. So I just want to explain myself, but also I had a couple questions. I think 2 people asked questions kind of about this topic. Hey, Bitcoin's 4-year cycle is ending. What do you think about it? Does this mean we last longer? Does this mean top is in? What's the relationship? So I kind of want to explain everything, see what I'm seeing, and then also talk about past things that I've said at the same time. So we're going to start with the past things that I've said. In the past, I've pointed to, hey, it's pretty dangerous. This is April, June, over the summer, things like that. It's very, very, very dangerous for you to be thinking this cycle is going to be different. Especially at the time, we were not anywhere near late phases of the cycle when it came to the timing, using previous cycle lows to cycle peaks. We weren't really close to running out of time at the time. Now we are / we already have. All right. So I want to kind of explain everything there. But at the time, I thought it was very, very, very dangerous to think that this cycle is different, because let's say we followed kind of what I had in my head perfectly. If we had a relatively good to flat September and an explosive October, then we're looking at, right, Bitcoin's breaking out 150K, total 2, Ethereum has broken out. Okay. At that point, late October, I'm looking at the market like, hey, we've historically topped in October, or like a cycle timing perspective, in October or late November, from where we started this cycle to where other cycles started till now. Okay. So if we saw all these crazy astronomical valuations and the market was heating up and things like that, okay, and we happen to time up with what we previously have for other cycles, I have no reason to think that anything would be different. And that's what I'm saying. It's dangerous to point at that time of like, hey, I know all my targets are being hit, but institutions are here, so this time is different and I'm going to hold longer. That is very, very, very dangerous thought process, and one that I don't think will help the majority of people, it's why I don't say things like that. But now, where are we at? We've had a actually pretty horrendous October compared to what we expected, compared to what we've had historically. But at the same time, nothing has broken when it comes to cycle structure. I'm not going to show it in this video, but I've shown you guys like, hey, weekly structures are holding all of these things. So moving forward, how am I operating? I already have my targets. My targets are, I feel, relatively conservative. If nothing has broken in the market, I'm not selling. I don't care what is shown from cycle timing perspective. That's why I'm saying I never believed in it in the first place. I always used it as a guide. Okay, if we were seeing crazy times in the market in October and November, I know for a fact it's the top. Now, not so much. If we do happen to get a longer cycle, it doesn't change any of my cycle targets. I'm still pointing to those. And even now, if it's late November, even though that's only a month away, if it's a late November and we're getting some of these signs and my targets are being hit, I'm still coming back to this, that, hey, this cycle is not different. All right. I have my targets. I've already planned everything out when it comes to how high things can go this cycle. So if the timing is a little bit off, right, I always have those to lean back on. And again, those are relatively conservative or within the realm of reality. So I do want to point that out. But I also want to take an extreme to the other direction. If I was completely wrong on cycle timing, which again is not a big deal for me when I already have targets based on technical analysis of individual coins and broader market indexes and macro factors and things like that, right? But let's say I'm extremely wrong. Like it blows past all of my expectations, and this cycle extends to the craziest example, the craziest stuff you've heard. It extends to Q3 of 2026 or something. As long as the structure doesn't break, all right, as long as we could do this over and over and over again. Bitcoin could go right here and range, and then go up and range, and go up and range. As long as these structures are holding, I have no reason to be bearish. Okay. At any point in time along this path, if my targets are being hit, I'm exiting. my targets get hit in here, I'm exiting. I'm exiting. I'm exiting. It doesn't matter if it continues to go on, if it goes into 2026, whatever have you. If my targets are getting hit, I'm exiting. All right. And then at any point in time, let's say I haven't sold anything. It's Q3 2026. Bitcoin's just been building a base, building a base, building a base. Structure hasn't broken, but somehow none of my coins have hit price targets. If we end up breaking one of these structures, right, then I go ahead and I sell everything. So everything is based on structures. These cycles, right, this cycle timing stuff, it is not the end all be all. It should never be the end all be all. It's interesting to theorize. It's good to have confluences and things like that. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if we see, just crazy stuff happening, crazy stuff taking off, as we get into this area, then that's likely the top. You can use that as confluence, but I don't think as long as structure is holding, it's pretty dangerous to just assume that tops are going to come in based on previous cycle timing and or what people are saying about these new cycle timings or debt cycles or business cycles or things like that. Have your targets, commit to them, watch the structure, and if you ever see confluence, if it is Q3 2026 and whoever that you watch or follow happens to be right about cycle timing and things are going crazy, you're still watching the structure. You're still watching to see if your extensions are getting hit. You're still watching to see if we break down to the downside or what the possibility of it is there. So I want you guys to understand this cycle timing is never the end all be all. It's always going to act as confluence. Watch your structures, and it still at the same time is dangerous to think that this cycle will be different. We still have time to kind of top out in late November or something like that. Do want to point out, right, this data is a little bit old. I just have this chart built previously, so this only has to the end of August data. So we're actually, end of October. So we're much closer. We're already in this green box here, which is why I'm making a video like this, which is why you guys have comments and questions and concerns about things like this. I do want to point out too, okay, nothing broken in the background. This kind of goes into structure, but you also want to take a peek at some macro, okay? There is no example on Bitcoin dominance where on the monthly time frame we are flashing red. Stock RSI absolutely bottomed the hell out, and Bitcoin is in a bear market. It's just it's impossible. So these are not the dynamics that you see in a bear market. So combining the structure with even just one piece of macro is going to be super helpful. Again, I already have my targets. I already have areas where I think Bitcoin could be topping out, and it doesn't really matter to me where it comes in, especially with these altcoin market dynamics. If Bitcoin tops in here, altcoin market is still going to go crazy into that moment. But again, confluences, each one of these steps up, right? If the altcoins are hitting my targets, going crazy, if there's euphoria in the market, any one of these can act as a cycle peak, and any one of those might time up with what anybody is saying about timing. That's kind of my point of this video. It's like, have your targets, okay, watch for the structure, take a peek at the macro, make sure everything's intact. But until these extensions are getting hit and targets are getting hit on things, there's not really anything you want to do with timing. But when that time does happen, you do want to use it as confluence. Hopefully this made sense to you guys. It's a lot to kind of juggle back and forth, but hopefully, again, that made sense. If you guys have questions, let me know as always. And I know 2 people at least asked me about this week. So hopefully I got those questions answered for you guys. And hopefully those people who have wanted to ask questions can see like, hey, if I ask a good question, or if I have multiple people have the same question as me, this guy will make a video on it. So hopefully you guys found this useful. Make sure you check out my other videos this week. Everything's looking good. Going to be kind of back onto cycle timing and rotational kind of plays probably if we can get through this kind of structural mishap that we've had on crypto the last few months of just ranging sideways and extreme fear in the market. But that's it for this video. We're going to wrap it up. Sorry for my dog barking in the background. Americana out. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.